The Galactic Council's war chamber fell silent as Admiral Zexthar's mandibles clicked nervously against his carapace. The holographic display showed the same devastating scene for the third time. Entire Vrex battalions, their advanced plasma, shields and kinetic barriers intact, lying motionless across the battlefield. No energy signatures, no explosive residue, no trace of the weapons that had killed them. "Impossible," hissed Commander Ylara, her scaled hands gripping the edge of the tactical table. "Our scanners detected no plasma discharge, no particle beams, no projectile weapons of any kind. How does a primitive species like humanity achieve such results?" Elsa Chen, the lone human representative in the chamber, remained seated calmly at the far end of the table. Her dark eyes reflected the swirling hologram as she watched the alien commanders struggle with their confusion. She had expected this reaction. "Perhaps," she said quietly, "your definition of weapons is too narrow." The assembled aliens turned their various appendages and sensory organs toward her. The Vrex had ruled this sector for millennia with their superior technology and energy-based warfare. They had conquered dozens of species, all of whom had eventually submitted to their plasma cannons and photon destroyers. Humanity was supposed to be just another easy conquest. "Explain yourself, human," Admiral Zexthar demanded, his translator, rendering his chittering into clipped standard. "Our intelligence reports indicated your species had barely achieved interstellar flight. Your weapons were categorized as primitive projectile throwers and chemical explosives." Elsa stood slowly, her movements deliberate. "That's where you made your first mistake. You sent scouts to observe our military installations, our factories, our modern cities. But you never looked at our history." She activated her personal holodisplay, and suddenly the chamber filled with images that seemed impossibly ancient to the assembled aliens. Humans in primitive clothing standing in vast fields, holding what appeared to be curved sticks with strings attached. "This is a bow," Elsa said simply. "Humanity has been using them for over 70,000 years. Commander Yalara's neck scales rippled, in what her species considered laughter. "You cannot seriously suggest that primitive hunting tools could penetrate our shields. Your shields are designed to disperse energy and deflect high-velocity projectiles," Elsa continued, her voice never rising above conversational level. "They're magnificent pieces of technology, but they have one fatal flaw." The hologram shifted, showing slow-motion footage of an arrow in flight. The projectile moved with deliberate grace, its wooden shaft and metal point seeming almost organic compared to the sleek technology surrounding them. "Velocity threshold," whispered Helen Torvik, the Confederation's chief military strategist. The pale, cybernetically enhanced human had been silent until now, but his augmented eyes reflected rapid calculations. "The shields don't activate for objects moving below a certain speed." Admiral Zexthar's mandibles spread wide in confusion. "That is technically correct, but such slow projectiles could never penetrate our armor." Elsa smiled for the first time since entering the chamber. "Show them the Agincourt footage, Helen." The hologram changed again. Now it displayed human soldiers, their faces painted for war, standing behind massive wooden constructs that dwarfed even their impressive frames. The bows they held were not the simple hunting tools from the previous image. These were longbows, nearly as tall as the warriors themselves, crafted from laminated wood and horn. The English longbow, Elsa narrated, could punch through plate armor at 200 meters, draw a weight of 150 pounds or more. Some of our ancestors could loose 12 aimed arrows per minute. The aliens watched in fascination as the historical footage showed volleys of arrows darkening medieval skies, raining down on armored knights with devastating effect. "But this is ancient history," protested Commander Ylara. "Surely your modern militaries have abandoned such primitive—" "Modern militaries, yes," Helen interrupted, his enhanced voice carrying harmonic overtones that made the aliens' translation devices struggle. "But you invaded our agricultural worlds first, our frontier colonies, places where people still remember the old ways." The hologram shifted to recent battlefield footage from the Vrex invasion. Humans in simple clothing moved through dense forest with fluid grace, their composite bows drawn with mechanical precision. But these weren't the wooden weapons of antiquity. They were marvels of modern engineering, crafted from carbon fiber and titanium alloys, with pulleys and cams, that multiplied their power beyond anything their ancestors could have imagined. Modern compound bows, Elsa explained, can achieve arrow speeds of nearly 400 feet per second while maintaining perfect accuracy at extreme range. Below your shield activation threshold, but with enough kinetic energy to penetrate any personal armor we've encountered. Admiral Zexthar's chittering grew agitated as the footage continued. Frex soldiers, confident in their energy shields and advanced armor, fell silently to arrows that seemed to materialize from the forest itself. The humans moved like ghosts, firing from concealment before melting back into terrain they knew intimately. Your soldiers never saw it coming, Helen added with cold satisfaction. No energy signature to track, no heat bloom to target, just wood and metal and human skill perfected over millennia. The chamber erupted in clicking, hissing, and various alien expressions of disbelief. Commander Yalara's scales had shifted to colors that suggested deep embarrassment. You're telling us that we've been defeated by hunting equipment? Not hunting equipment, Elsa corrected gently. War equipment. The bow isn't primitive technology, it's perfected technology. 70,000 years of human innovation condensed into the most efficient killing tool our species ever created. She gestured to the hologram, which now showed production facilities where humans crafted arrows with the same precision they once reserved for starship components. Carbon fiber shafts, titanium broadheads, fletching designed by aerodynamic engineers who had worked on atmospheric entry vehicles. Your intelligence was correct about one thing, she continued. Humanity did develop advanced weapons. Plasma rifles, particle cannons, fusion warheads. But we never forgot the lessons our ancestors learned. Sometimes the old ways are the best ways. Admiral Zexthar's posture had changed from aggressive dominance to something approaching respect. The surrender terms? Simple, Elsa replied. Withdraw from all human settlements, recognize our territorial claims, and perhaps most importantly, update your intelligence protocols. Next time you want to understand a species' capabilities, don't just look at their newest technology. Look at their oldest. As the Galactic Council began the formal surrender procedures, Helen leaned close to Elsa. Think they'll learn from this? Elsa watched the alien commanders processing their defeat, their advanced minds struggling to comprehend how they'd been outmaneuvered by weapons their ancestors might have recognized. Maybe, she said quietly. But I doubt they'll ever truly understand. They see the bow as primitive because it's old. They don't realize that sometimes the longer something survives, the more perfect it becomes. The hologram faded, leaving only the soft lighting of the war chamber and the sound of alien voices discussing terms they never thought they'd need to consider. In the end, the most advanced civilization in the sector had been humbled not by humanity's progress, but by their persistence, the refusal to abandon tools that had served them well for thousands of generations. The bow, after all, had never stopped being exactly what it was meant to be, the perfect fusion of human ingenuity and deadly intent.